Namaste Seekers, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nicolas Ulhich and today I will share with you about the transit of Mars through the sidereal sign of Cancer. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Remember, this is Vedic sidereal astrology, different from Western tropical astrology. The transit of Mars, planet Mars, through the sidereal sign of Cancer started on May 10th and will go all the way through till June 30th. But depending the part of the planet in which you are at, that may take place on the next day, being July 1st. What it means Mars, what it means Cancer, and what does the Vedas say about this very unique and specific transit? Because for sure you already know that the planet Mars has some signs of debilitation. One of them is of extreme debilitation, and one of the signs is of extreme strength. Cancer in this case is the sign of most debilitation for Mars. Mars is very weak, and all the meanings of Mars, the concepts behind Mars, are weakened by being all this period of time on Cancer. Mars go through a sign approximately 2 months every time, no counting with retrogradations and this kind of specific and particular behavior of the planets, and goes to a sign, the same sign, every 2 years. So the transit through Cancer takes place once every 2 years for a period of 2 months, approximately, if there is no retrogradation. Mars is the warrior, it's the energy within us, in our psyche, in our body, related to movement, related to determination, willpower, discipline, constancy. Whatever you do, whatever you need in order to become successful, that will be provided by Mars. Mars is also the natural ruler of the third house, a house of Dharma. Dharma means purpose in life, the reason of why you are here on planet Earth. So Mars is the drive we have within us that is moving us or inspiring us to move from point A. Let's take point A as being born, and point B, which in this case will be being self-realized, fulfilling our dharma, our purpose in life. Mars is extremely important. It's a planet that brings a lot of Pitta energy whenever it's activated, but also could withdraw this Pitta energy when it's weak. And in this case, it's not doing very well in Cancer, and because of that, we may feel some struggles with Pitta energy as well. And Mars is also the natural ruler of the 8th house as well as a Scorpio sign, and the 8th house is related to the traumas that we have, whether from childhood or from past lives, or that are stored in our consciousness, deep in the unconscious part of us, that comes from our lineage. And whether it's coming from childhood, from our family, or past lives, is stored in the 8th house. And whenever is the 8th house, or the ruler of the 8th house, or the natural ruler of the 8th house activated, the transformation begins. Transformation could be to transform a difficult moment in your life into your strength, motivation, and inspiration, or could be to struggle a little bit extra as usual. Perhaps some days are good, some days are bad for you in a normal week or month, but when the 8th house is activated, all the attention, it's whether going there or drawn there, but the attention is going there one way or the other. There is nothing to worry about, because this is happening for all of us each month for 2.5 days when the moon is transited through our natal 8th house. That if you are Aries rising sign, is when the moon is transiting through Scorpio. If you are Taurus rising sign, is Sagittarius, and so forth and on for each of the rising signs, of course. And if your natal moon or your natal ruler of the rising sign in your case, or your Atma Karaka or a very important planet in your natal chart is sitting on the 8th house, you are very used to deal with transformation, healing, and most likely you became a doctor, a psychologist, or a therapist of any sort. Now Mars, planet of Dharma, and moksha represented by the 8th house, meaning spiritual freedom, liberation, self-realization, means samadhi. Samadhi comes from the roots of perfection and absorption into perfection, meaning connecting, communing with the divine, but in the most deep, complete, and whole sense. It's not just sitting down to listen a podcast about meditation or guided meditation, which is amazing if you are doing that. However, it's the deepest form of meditation and the very last ultimate result of meditation. That is moksha. It's not something that you will taste here and there. It's something that happens at the end of the spiritual journey, which is at the same time not necessarily the end of the journey. And Mars, being the ruler of these two powerful concepts behind Dharma and moksha, now is weakened, debilitated in Cancer. Cancer, what does it mean, Cancers? Well, Cancer is the natural associated sign to the 4th house, a house also related to moksha. Spirituality, meditation, freedom, spiritual exploration, working with intuition to strengthen your intuition, to improve your connection with the subtle realms in the positive and lightful way, of course, not working with that dark forces or any sort of thing like that, as well as receive or ask for divine guidance, connect with God through devotion, faith. All these concepts are related to Cancer and the 4th house. Also, Cancer as a sign is related to the mother as a person, is related to home, to our house, our properties, vehicles, real estate, childhood. It has to do with our nutrition, with the unconscious part of us, not the deepest part that is connecting us with our ancestors and the collective unconsciousness, but the more personal unconscious mind. This unconscious mind now is being activated or triggered by Mars, the warrior. And the warrior, let's imagine for a second, that is used to go every single time to war, to fight, to win, to go again, win again, and if it's not winning, it's going again for revenge and trying the best to defeat the enemy again and again and again. And the warrior is everything that he's doing is in order to achieve success at the battlefield. It's not about showing off. It's about actually winning the battle, which is very different of showing off. And now the warrior is sitting in the sign of home, of family, of emotional relationships. The warrior may be doing now at home, being in a sense imprisoned at home for 2 months, maybe doing some push-ups, pull-ups, squats and abs and jumping the training, running, etc. But there will come a moment, a point in time, where the warrior will feel this was too much waiting time. I need to do something. But as long as Mars is sitting on Cancer, the warrior needs to be at home. Won't be able to go to any battlefield, to any other place, but at home, to stay at home. And who can we find at home? Our roommates, our family, our loved ones, our digestion and the things that we consume in our diets. It has to do with going to bed, but not in the sensual form, which is the 12th house and Pisces, but it's more going to sleep. If you are having any type of problems or any difficulty to fall asleep or to actually have a deep sleep at night, this may be caused this may come from Mars during this transit. Cancer has to do with intuition, so Mars having a lot of energy within itself, it's providing that energy to the intuition. Now the intuition may be stronger, but the determination, the direction in life, purpose, sense of where I should go in general in my life, or where I should go in some particular area like profession, relationships, projects, friendships, etc., now is interconnected with the unconscious content, with emotions related to my loved ones, and it's kind of mixed up and it's not very clear. So the direction is kind of sketchy. I cannot properly see where to go or how to arrive there or what to do in the process to figure out that. Whatever was very clear with Mars transit in Gemini, now in Cancer, there is a very particular phenomenon that Mars activating Aries, it's giving us a very clear, determined sense of purpose. Then it's moving to Taurus, and for 2 months in Taurus, Mars is gathering resources in order to go in the direction of our purpose that we realized with the transit through Aries. And we can have many plans, ideas, projects, dreams. You can have so many possibilities. That is Aries. But the actual going there, it happens with Taurus, when you start to have resources, like a vehicle to go there, or a plane ticket, or anything else. You book a hotel room, anything, but it's more tangible, more physical. Now it's true, it's more real. In Aries could be more in your mind, in your thoughts, etc. Then it's moving to Gemini, and during the transit of Mars through Gemini, the ideas, the information, the resources, and the purpose behind it's starting to connect. In this connection, now if you, for example, found or got a vehicle to arrive to the destination, to the goal that you have, now you learn how to drive, or you check the map, the best way to reach that particular place. Now it's making sense. The resources and the purpose is making sense. Now it's getting connected. Now Mars is in the next sign, which is Cancer. And with Cancer, we are kind of closing a cycle with this process that I have been describing from Aries, in which Cancer is providing a quiet time to reflect, to meditate, to analyze, to go through all the details that we perhaps developed through Mars in Gemini, to reanalyze all the resources and the information and media and whatever we got through the transit of Mars in Taurus, and to properly align, to properly order the idea, the purpose that we found in Aries. So purpose, resources, information now are being put a time off so we can feel, we can intuit, we can nurture, we can protect that project, little project of us, and figure out if it's the right moment, the right time, the right idea, the right way, or if there is a better one. And because Cancer is in a way throwing a lot of unconscious content to the table, and Mars is now there being interconnected with all that content and being influenced and impacted by all of that, there is a question, a burning question. The things that I have been doing in my life are the things that I resonate the most with, or are things that I have been doing just to please my family, my mother, my father, my spouse, my friends, my boss, my profession, or it's actually mine thing, something that I feel? This is the burning question. The burning question also could be divided into what should I do now? Should I keep going in this direction, or should I think in a different path of life? And the other direction is, if I need to choose a second path of life, an alternative to the things that I have been doing with my life, this other new path, how should it be? And what talents do I have to pursue this path of life? And the other question is, if I should remain in the same path, which things I should or I must change in order to be successful in this path, to success at pursuing these goals, these projects of mine that were somehow sensed or found or acknowledged through the transit of Mars in Aries a couple of months ago. Then Mars will move to Leo, and we stop the analysis here because if not, we'll take like several hours. But Mars in Leo will give the proper understanding of how to suit all the information, all the intuitions, all the revelations through the transit of Mars in Cancer into a more personalized action involving the external world. Saying this differently and easier, everything that you have acknowledged and it was revealed to you during these transits, now it's very easy to put it into actions. Actions that could be change your job position or change your actual job or change your city, your relationships can improve or change or break up. Many things will change, but the change will be conscious, clear, and easy once we have completed these transits fully. But at the same time, Mars is creating 3 potential aspects: a 4 aspect, a 7 aspect, and an 8 aspect. The 4 aspect is whatever is 4 positions from Mars is being activated and triggered. And if we count Cancer as the first position, then we have Leo, Virgo, Libra. Libra is the 4th position, so Mars is looking into Libra, first of all. What do we have in Libra? Ketu. Ketu in Libra has been making us work a lot spiritually through our relationships, but also to spiritualize our relationships. Do my relationships have any sort of purpose in my life, or I am just there out of comfort, out of security, but I like severely a sense of purpose in my relationships? Oh, I am with these people because they have been friends of mine for such a long time, and I feel that I owe them to still be with them. However, we don't resonate at all. We are totally different. One is vegan, the other eats meats. I don't like meat, the other person doesn't like veganism. Or I like yoga, the other person like partying. Or 2 opposite realities. This one is not better, this one is not better, but both are not compatible, are not the same. And if you are not surrendering yourself with people that can help you and you can help, you are definitely wasting time, energy, and life. Because life is not about who is more nice to be around, but the purpose behind being with that person. Do you find a purpose of being with that person, or that to create a space for that person in your life? Because whenever you create a space for someone or for something in your life, you are not allowing anything else to be there for you. And sometimes when you let go, you open yourself up to new things, better things, more aligned with the version of you that you are right now. Sometimes a relationship starts with a version of you, but a couple of months or years later, you became a totally different person that needs different things, and the other person as well. And it's not out of any bad or low vibrational emotion, but out of respect, love, and trying to satisfy or achieve your purpose in life, that you feel it's time to go in different path. And if you are feeling that is not the case for everyone, but if you are feeling that, it's mostly because Ketu is transiting the sign of relationships, being Ketu a planet, a shadowy planet related to letting go, transforming, transcending, and spiritualizing things. And now Mars is activating all of this. So intuitions and revelations will clear the path for you and will help you to take some decisions, if any need to be taken. Then Mars is creating a 7 aspects to Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign related to the outer aspect of our life, the social life, the work life, your connection with your profession, with the workplace, and whatever is taking place at your workplace is impacting your Mars, and your Mars is triggering that. Be very careful. Don't accept any situation where you find a lack of respect, a lack of empathy. Anyone can say anything, because free speech is very, very important and should be sacred in any country, in any moment in history. But free speech doesn't mean to go against respect, ethics, and morals. If you find that someone is exercising free speech, freedom of speech, but while doing so is offending you in a wrong way and is disrespecting you, you should not do the same, but to leave and leave the person behind. Why I'm saying this? Because if you stay in a place where you are not being respected, and that is happening for a long period of time, with this transit, you will feel to react, not to respond, to react from your unconscious mind, from raw emotions. And that reaction definitely won't be beneficial for you or for your job or for your coworkers or the relationship between you and them. And whatever people are doing to you will be their karma. And in the process that you are being done that, you are burning a karma. But in the very moment that you are reacting to something that someone else is doing, you are creating a new karma in that very second. Whatever you do, it's coming to you. It doesn't matter how justified you find your actions or reactions. At the end, you are creating a karma that will come back to you. Whatever they are doing is coming back to them. But whatever we are going through is a reaction of some past action of us, whether from a former year, a previous year, or our very last life, our last incarnation. Doesn't mean it's coming from this life. Sometimes you cannot recall why I am going through this. I don't deserve this. Yeah, of course, with the actions of this lifetime, you definitely don't deserve that. But we may analyze your natal chart, your Vedic natal chart. There are some divisional charts or Vargas where we can clearly see the actions that you weren't accounted for in your past life and now are coming for you. Not in a sense of punishments or divine or universal punishments, but it's a balancing force of nature. Karma is action-reaction law. The law of action-reaction. Whatever you do, it's a mass that should come back to you to provide balance in the universe. Again, it's not a punishment, but the advice of the Vedas is whenever you find yourself in a difficult situation, be patient, be tolerant, don't react, don't add on top of your current karma more new karma, and do your best to be strong, to be thankful that all that karma is being burned and letting go, and then live your life without thinking about that, without attachments to pain or pleasure, to past or future. It's extremely difficult. It's a huge task, but everyone following the proper steps of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana can achieve it at one point or another. In also the Vedic stories, we find one on the Samudra Mantana, the churning of the ocean, where the Devas and the Asuras, the gods and the demons, were churning the ocean to produce Amrita, which is the nectar of immortality. And in the process of creating, or in this sense, produced Amrita, many other substances and items were produced. One of them was something called halahala, an extremely insanely powerful venom, a toxin that was totally impossible for the Devas or the Asuras to deal with. So they naturally call Shiva. Shiva or Maheshwara, it's known for being the god of transformation, destruction, and the creator of yoga, the greatest of all yogis. Shiva came to the place and drank the hala hala, saying everything will be okay now. Don't worry about hala hala anymore. But as a consequence of drinking hala hala, the throat of Shiva started to become bluish. Shiva started to feel a little bit weak and sick. Naturally, the most powerful venom in the universe, of course, will have some effects. So Shiva went to the shore of a river to rest. Chandra, the god of the moon, saw all the situation and went to Shiva to console him and to support him. The way that Chandra did this was sending the soothing rays of the moon to the throat of Shiva. After Shiva, experiencing the rays of the moon, started to feel way better and stronger to transform the venom hala hala. In consequence, Shiva was highly grateful to Chandra and decided to give a boon to Chandra and become Chandra one of the Navagrahas or the 9 planets in Vedic astrology. The thing is that after this event, Chandra became arrogant with the new powers received by the boon of Lord Shiva and started to agitate the oceans, the emotions on people, creating chaos everywhere between the living beings, and the devas, the gods, were scandalized and they were going to Shiva after witnessing all this chaos. So they said, Lord Shiva, please help us with Chandra. It's out of control. He's using the boon that you gave to him to create a lot of chaos between the living entities. We need to do something about that. It doesn't pay attention to any of us. So Shiva, when found out this, was very angry and sent Kartikeya, or the Lord of War, in this case, planet Mars. And Mars, let's say in this way, or Mangala, many names for Mars, went to see Chandra and fight with Chandra. After a little bit of battle, of course, the god of war easily won the battle. And once defeated Chandra, it says that created a very particular condition where every time the moon is transiting the area related to Mars will become extremely weak. And the moon, when it's entering the zodiac sign of Scorpio, ruled by Mars, which is territory of Mars, is the weakest sign for the moon. And the same for Mars. Every time Mars is transiting the sign of the moon, which is only one, which is Cancer, will become extremely weak. This is the Vedic background of the story of why Mars is extremely weak in Cancer and the moon is extremely weak in Scorpio, the weakest point to be exact. What it means? Well, Mars, the warrior, the fire energy in a soothing, nutrition, and a nurturing, protecting sign will create a lot of afflicted emotions. It will enhance our unconscious content, and we are more prone than ever to have a lot of hatreds, or to seek revenge, or to be triggered easily with any sort of provocation. We will be trying to pick a fight constantly in the area where we have this transit. Of course, not with anyone, anywhere, of course, don't worry. There are many recommendations that I will give to you, but the most important definitely is to work through the flavors according to Ayurveda and to work with the yogasanas, the postures of yoga, and with the mantras of Bhakti Yoga. The mantra that I definitely want to ask you to chant during this 2-month period and if you don't know how, you can just listen to it, is Hanuman Chalisa, the 40 verses devoted to Lord Hanuman, which is the best example of a warrior. And definitely by worshiping Lord Hanuman, we can pacify the low vibrational effects of the transit of Mars through Cancer. Then in terms of yogasanas, you may want to do extra fiery positions such as Warrior Series, Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3, to do postures that involve activating the core, such as Chaturangasana, for example, Mayurasana, plank, side plank, different combinations of plank that you have many combinations. You can do as well Shirshasana, the handstand, but raising the legs and lowering the legs without touching the ground, the floor or your yoga mats. That will activate intensely your abs, and that will release all the excess of fire. Whether in low vibration or not, you will pacify that area for sure. If you have any medical condition, make sure you check, of course, before doing anything physical or changing your diet. Check with your doctor before. This is not medical advice, of course. And with your Ayurvedic doctor, definitely, of course. I am talking about Ayurvedic doctor. And then in terms of the flavors, we have sweet, spicy, salty, savor. We have pungent and bitter. Of the 6 flavors that we find according to Ayurvedic science, we should avoid if we are having too many troubles with Mars, because we have an excess of fire in this period of time. We should diminish the consumption of salty, savor, and the spicy flavors. These 3 flavors will increase the fire within us. So if you feel too much fire right now, lower the consumption. Don't eliminate the consumption, because each flavor has particular benefits and a lot of nutritional properties that you will only find on them, but definitely bring them to the minimum expression in your diet. And then if you are in the opposite case, you should reduce the bitter, the pungent and the sweet flavors. If you feel that your Mars is extremely weak and you need more fire within you, well, you can go for a little bit more of salty, spicy, and savor. But the best way to deal with the increase and balancing and pacifying way of Mars is through yogasanas. Yogasanas are the best way, together with chanting Hanuman Chalisa. The very best moment to chant Hanuman Chalisa is in Brahma Muhurta between 4 and 6 a.m. That it also is the Bhata hour of the morning. And in this period of time, our connection with the subtle realm is extremely powerful. And between 6 and 10 a.m. is already Kapha hour, where the energy is more grounding, more heavy, more thick. It's the best way to have breakfast, to train, to build up muscle, but it's a little bit more difficult for meditation. No, it's totally fine if you are doing your meditation at any moment, chanting Hanuman Chalisa at any given hour. But if you want to do it at the very exact way, I will advise you, if possible for you, considering your routine and everything that you need to do, of course, to do it before 6 a.m. All of these together. Let's see the predictions and how will impact each of the rising signs. A small clarification here. Let's say you, of course, I always start with Aries rising sign for the prediction, and I end with Pisces. But let's say you have the moon in Taurus and you are Aries rising sign. In your case, I will listen to the Aries prediction and Taurus prediction. I have seen a lot that people identifies a lot, and it happen a lot, the things that are impacting over the moon as rising sign. Then another thing that I have noticed is that the planets, the planetary period in which you are at, this is called in Sanskrit Mahadasha, the Mahadasha in which you are, let's say the sun, wherever you have the sun, let's say your sun is in Gemini, you should also listen the prediction of Gemini. Because right now, the Mahadasha is impacting you in such a powerful way, such a deep way, that is acting kind of a temporary rising sign. It's not a temporary rising sign, don't take it like that, but in a way of symbolically express it, we can understand it in that way. If you are already very advanced in Vedic astrology, you know what I mean. If you are new, just starting, you're a beginner, take it as I should, just in case, also listen to the predictions for the sign in which I have the Mahadasha planets in my natal chart. Aries rising sign. For you, this transit of Mars is the ruler of your rising sign and your 8th house, located in the 4th, a Kendra house, a house very powerful for any planet. A planet in a Kendra house, which is malefic Mars, it's not very good for you and also is debilitated. This may bring some issues for you that may create confusion in your direction in life, in your discipline, your determination. Maybe now your purpose is not that clear, or you're having second thoughts about what to do with your life, with your profession, your work, or the things that you have been working on, the projects that you have been working on. Ruling the 8th house, related to traumas that you need to heal, finances that are shared with others, like a business partner or your spouse. It has to do with mysticism, transformation, healing, with yoga, meditation, sudden changes, sudden losses or gains. It has to do with investigation, with a deep sense of curiosity that you really need to figure out what is going in this or that area in particular. And now Mars is affecting these two areas from the 4th house: vehicles, properties, investments in real estate, the mother, the family, childhood. It has to do with your unconscious mind, the people that is living with you. Be very careful of not starting any fight, any argument with these people, the people that you love the most, because it seems that you have a little tendency to create a fire where there is no need and nobody asks for. Also, all the topics of the 4th house will be heightened. For example, wanting to buy a property, a vehicle, to move to a different house, to whatever is related to houses, investing, your mother, your family, eating, diets. Now it's like very present for you. So pay attention to all these concepts and you will be just fine. Be careful with your diets. You may have some problems to sleep at night or a lot of activity in your dreams. Just take a cold shower in the morning and before bed. If your doctor says it's okay for your health conditions, always check with your doctor when changing your diet or your routines in a physical way. But a lot of benefits if you are healthy and you can do it, to take cold showers the very first things in the morning and even before going to sleep. It will be very beneficial. Do extra planks and try to release all the anger or the fire within you. Avoid spicy food and salty food. For Taurus rising sign, this is happening in the 3rd house, house of communication, of your interest, siblings, the connection between yourself and reality, your rational mind. And it's really in the 12th house, a house of foreign lands, of retreats, to go within, to take a retreat perhaps, to travel to a different country, different culture. If you live in a very big country, perhaps going to a different states where the culture is very different than yours or than your states. And it's also ruling the seventh house, the house of spouse, partnerships, social projection, your work. It has to do with happiness through relationships. Now you are a little bit spicy in communication that may affect your spouse, your business partners, and any connection with foreign lands, with the government, with society, or spirituality. In the opposite side, you may attract, or your spouse or business partners or the people close to you may bring a lot of insights that it comes to you in the form of intuitive information or rational actual information that you will have very handy to take decisions that will impact later on in your destiny. Because the 12th house is the karma of past life, and now you are receiving information on how to burn that karma, how to transform that karma. But also Jupiter will be for a very long time, 1 year completely. Check my YouTube video about the explanation of that. I say YouTube because some of you are listening in Spotify. And this activation of Jupiter in the 12th house definitely will connect you with foreign lands in one way or another. Maybe you want to study a new language or to go deeper into a second or third language. And Mars now there is being activated with all of these. So connections with foreign lands, foreign cultures, meditation, more time in nature, something it's some movement is happening in terms of information regarding spouse, marriage, business partners, the government, or foreign lands. Perhaps you are more connected during this period with siblings, neighbors, friends, or more talkative in general. Try to do not talk too much. Don't burn anyone's ears. But yeah, definitely it's not that bad. It's not necessarily good, but you will benefit a lot with meditation, being a little bit cautious with your words, with your behavior. That is always a good advice, but in this case it's a very important consideration for you to be very mindful of your words and actions. If your rising sign is Gemini, for you this is happening in the second house of finances, family, expression, beliefs. It has to do with security, stability in life, and is ruling the sixth house of work, of struggles, disease, routines, co-workers, enemies, and with the 11th house of gains, of recognition, projects, of networking, among many other things. Now Mars is more in the profession side, activating the second and the sixth house, two houses of arta, profession, of work at least, and then activating the 11th of income, recognition. Maybe during this time you are doing some projects or graduating of some sort of course or career or anything that you are doing. Maybe next couple of months will start to have some extra incomes for you and recognition. Or maybe now some things are changing for you that are taking you away from the path at your workplace, in this case, that you have been walking for a very long time, and a new project or new people or a different way of networking is coming to you. For example, let's say you are a therapist and you're used to do it in the space of other people, renting a room for 1 day and receiving people there. And now you start to do it in a different place or in new different places, or you start to offer your sessions, consultations, courses, or services or products abroad through internet or in different states. But there are some movements taking place, and these movements are very, very related to profession and social connections. If your rising sign is Cancer, for you is happening in the first house, affecting the 5th and the 10th. For you, Mars is a special planet because it's Raja Yuga Karaka, is the significator of a great personality. It doesn't mean will be better for you, but Mars for Cancer rising sign and Leo rising sign, we will discuss with Leo the things of Leo, but in your case is ruler of a Trikona house, Dharma house, a house of purpose, blessings and protection, and a house Kendra, which is an angular house, a powerful house. Mars is ruling both at the same time, and that is creating this Raja Yoga Karaka. Being a Raja Yoga Karaka and also being in a Kendra house, angular house that is also a Trikona house, because the first house is a house of fire and angular, Mars for you is extremely present right now. So all the topics of the first house, 10th house, and 5th house are very enhanced, heightened, I would say. Emotions, your creativity, your sexual drive, the necessity to work harder or more, or you're requested to work more, longer periods of time, or in a different company, or you are offered a better job position. Everything that is taking place right now in your life may involve some movements related to your children, to your romantic partner, to your profession, and to your path of life. Your path of life now, it's under a heavy scrutiny where you are very creative right now, deciding if you should I continue in this relationship, in this job, or should I change everything altogether at once? This transit, it's about setting goals. Then Mars will move by the 1st of July to your second house, and then the resources, the mediums to achieve this that now you are starting to build up in your mind or in your life will be more clear for you. So now be careful, pay attention to the things that are going away, fading away, and the things that are becoming stronger in your life. What ideas are becoming stronger, what desires of you. For example, at your workplace, do you like to work there, to do everything that you need to do in the normal days in order to go and work there? Are you working from home? Is good that for you? Do you want to work from a different country? Do you want to work in a different area? Do you need to study something different in order to have a better job opportunity, or with the things that you know it's enough? Should you create more content if you are a content creator, or a different type of content, or in shorter length of duration? Well, all these questions are taking place right now. That will impact your profession, your romantic relationships, your creativity, your creations overall, your children, if you have any, and your dharma, your path in life. If you are Leo rising sign, for you as well, Mars is the ruler of the 4th house and 9th house. 2 houses that creates a Raja Yuga Karaka. Mars is in the 12th house, a house of sorrow, of losses, of karma, a Dushtana house, but also is a house of moksha, meditation, spiritual freedom, conquering the spiritual realm. And it's the ruler of the 9th. The 9th is the house of the guru, spiritual wisdom, is of higher studies, your moral and ethical grounds, your father. It has to do with your philosophy of life. And the 4th house is related to the mother, the family, the unconscious mind, nutrition, protection, taking care of. Mars being in the 12th in Cancer, maybe now you are figuring out that the place where you are living at, whether with your family, with friends, roommates, in that country, in that city, in that state, it's no longer the best fit for you. If that is the case, the guru or your father or a father figure will provide you some sort of wisdom that will help you a lot to take the proper decisions in order to move to a better position in life. Position may be physical, emotional, energetical, at your profession, with your relationships, or your dharma overall. When Mars is moving to your first house, to Leo, in July 1st, that will create a lot of clarity and help you a lot. We will discuss that by then, don't worry, but in the meantime, a lot of meditation, spend some time on nature, try to be close to big masses of water, rivers, lakes, the ocean. That will help you definitely a lot. Be patient at home with your loved ones and pay attention to your guru. If you don't have a guru, try to approach to a guru. If it's not possible or you don't resonate with any of the gurus out there, try to read the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, or any commentary on these special, very, very sacred books of our Sanatana Dharma tradition, and that will help you a lot. If your rising sign is Virgo, for you this is happening in the 11th house, a house of income, recognition, friends, social influences. It's a house of projects, networking, and it's ruling the 8th house and the 3rd house. Two houses that are not the best energy, to be honest. So through the 8th house, maybe new projects through business partners are coming on your way, or problems related to projects with some business partners, or the finances of your business that is shared with someone else is going through a difficult time, or new partners wants to join you, or to you and your partner currently in some business proposal to be even more abundant. Whatever is coming your way, I don't say be suspicious of the intentions of people, but definitely take a serious look in detail. Don't say yes to anything. Go paper per paper if you need to read any paper. Don't sign anything without going to the full extent of each line and be completely sure that is the best for you. Otherwise, don't say yes. And it's ruling the 3rd house of information, flow of information, communication. Definitely, you will be very active connecting with people, receiving ideas, insights that could be related to business proposals or totally different, and they are coming from a different side. Perhaps you are in a process of healing something because of the activation of the 8th house, and your friends are supporting you because you have been going through a rough time. So now you're having support of your friends, close ones, and you are able to speak out the things that you lived to release that. Or you are even more intuitive than before, and you want to express this extra intuition, extra capacity to sense, to perceive the subtle forces to your friends or to groups of people. Whatever you do, make sure you are careful with your words, your actions, and you read everything twice to double check, of course. If you're Libra rising sign, for you this is happening in the 10th house, house of arta, profession, social influence, recognition, your work definitely. And Mars is ruling the 7th house and the 2nd house. 7th house of spouse, business partners, social projection, and 2nd house of stability, security, money, finances, family expression, beliefs. Your spouse or business partners are impacting your work and vice versa, and your finances. These 3 houses are extremely connecting from my perspective to arta, profession, and someone. This someone may be your spouse, a friend, a very close friend, but some proposals, some movements in business are taking place during this period. Take advantage of that, but also pay attention to these movements and make sure these movements are the ones that you want for you. Despite if it's with your friend, your spouse, be sure that it's what you want for you. Don't do things only for the sake, the benefit of others. Be included in the benefited ones. Don't be only the giving benefits, but also be benefited by your efforts during this period. If you are a Scorpio rising sign, Mars as well as Aries rising sign is the ruler of your Lagna, of your ascendant, is located in the 9th house, a house of purpose, dharma. It's the house of guru, philosophy, of father, very, very important house. And it's affecting your 1st house and your 6th house. The 9th and the 1st, dharma houses per excellence. So this is bringing a lot of wisdom, a lot of clarity in the direction of your purpose. Your purpose is a little bit more clear during this period, but will be clearer after July. During 1st July and on will be clearer. And because it's activating the 6th house of daily routines, daily habits, be very mindful of your schedule. Make sure the things you do, the time you wake up, you go to bed, it's functional, it's healthy, and everything will be amazing. Try to do a daily sadhana, daily dinacharya, and the results will be awesome. For Sagittarius rising sign, Mars is transiting your 8th house, a house natural to Mars, that is related to transformation, healing, sudden changes, sudden gains or losses. Is activating the 5th house, children, creative intelligence, investments, advice, romance, and the 12th house of pleasures of bed is the house of foreign lands, long-term travels or long-distance travels as well. It has to do with the ocean, with meditation, nature, spirituality, devotion to God. Mars is in a house of sex and desires. It's activating the 5th related to creativity, having children, and the 12th pleasures of bed or bed pleasures. I will say be extra careful during this time if you don't plan to have children at the moment, because this energy is activating the houses that are strengthening the possibility to have children. Be careful, take the precautions that you for sure already know. Apart from that, maybe during this period you go on vacation with a lover, a romantic relationship, or your spouse or your children to a place, and that is creating some sort of healing, transformation, revelation, or improvement in your life, whether because something needs let go during this period and that was toxic but difficult to let go, or something new is coming and you naturally want to create a space in your life but moving some things apart or away from your life, and you will do so without problems, without any drama. Be chill with children, be nice with your romantic relationships or your business partners as well, and everything will be fine. Spend some time in nature, close to big masses of water if possible. If you don't have any, try to listen in the background music of water running, a waterfall or anything. That will be very, very good for you. For Capricorn rising sign, Mars is transiting the 7th house. This is not very, very good because Mars in the 7th house creates a special condition. I won't go into details right now, but this special condition that other positions as well may create it. It's called Kusha dosha. It's kind of an affliction of Mars, a kind of curse of Mars that affects the relationships, overall romantic relationships, and also could be extend to business relationships. Be very, very cautious with the people you trust in. Be very careful with any proposal, any documents that other people are handling to you or your spouse or your partners in your business. take precautions in this sense. Doesn't mean people is coming to you to take advantage of you, but it may happen. And if it's happening, you will be very clear. Okay, I know that I need to pay attention to this. Nothing wrong. I am burning a karma. Thanks the Lord that this is gone. And now to the next thing. It's ruling the fourth house, mother, family, properties, vehicles. Don't invest in anything related to that right now. Be patient, wait a little bit more. Then it's activating the 11th house of networking, income, gain, recognition. Maybe now you are working with a group to do some investments in real estate or a vehicle or something is connecting all these areas, or perhaps you are doing some investments with your family. Well, Mars there, debilitated, is asking you to take precautions in businesses and in your romantic and love relationships. Love in all the sense of the word. Family, friends, your spouse. Be very mindful and everything will be fine. Take very good care of your diet during this period of time, and avoid people that may make you feel angry or trigger you, because it's very likely that you are more sensitive to that, or more prone to feel anger. So try to avoid at least till July all that kind of people. And if you have no other way to deal with them, be more compassionate, patient, count from 10 to 1, breathe slower, try to close your eyes, do more yoga, more meditation, receive a massage, and you will be fine. Don't worry. If you are Aquarius rising sign, for you this is happening in the 6th house, a house which is Dushtana, difficult house, a house of obstacles, but a difficult planet such as Mars in a difficult house, this is positive, because you are expecting the difficulties and obstacles in an area that is for that is good. And it's affecting or impacting in the 3rd house of communication, flow of information, siblings, short trips, short journeys, and the 10th house of profession, the work overall. Now Mars is activating a house of Artha and a house of Artha and ones of Kama, relationships. Relationships at work are asking you to be more chill, to be patient, to be tolerant, and to think everything twice and to go through every detail twice. Whether you are self-employed or you work for a company or an office or with someone else, be patient with this other person at work, or with that group of people at work. They may want to intentionally trigger you, to provoke you for some specific reactions. Don't fall for that. Be patient, and maybe some changes will take place at your workplace. Changes that definitely will improve your life overall, but not necessarily in the way you want. Perhaps you are fired, or you change intentionally your profession or your work, or if you sell products online, perhaps one of the most desired products by you that you want to become millionaire by selling that product is not working at all, but now a different product that you didn't think about, now it's coming your way and that is working. So some changes at work doesn't mean you will be fired or your products or services won't be hired, but or bought, but some changes will take place and will require patience, tolerance, and empathy from you. Be patient as well with your siblings, and they may come to you for some guidance perhaps, or some support. Try to be there for them if you feel so, of course, and it's beneficial for you as well. And if you are Pisces rising sign, this transit is taking place in the 5th house, children, creative intelligence, investments, romantic relationships, hobbies, advices that you give or receive. It's ruling the 2nd house of finances, of stability, security, family expression, beliefs, and the ninth house, a house of dharma, blessings, of the guru, of your father, philosophy, higher thinking, higher studies. Right now, it seems you are connecting with higher realms. You are having a stronger and deeper intuition, and you should put that down to work. This will impact highly on your finances. Whatever you are learning from your guru or remembering from your guru, or teachings that are coming from a father figure, or things that you are experiencing with a romantic relationship with your children or friends, is impacting your finances and your philosophy of life. As well, the things that you are going through financially is impacting your connection with the spirituality and with your creativity. Try to take advantage of this period. Try to draw mandalas, for example, to chant a lot of mantras, to spend some time on nature, doing some jogging, cycling, walking on nature, at least 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, perhaps listening a podcast of Nicolas Ulhich or any other, of course, but try to cultivate your consciousness, your soul, and this period will be highly beneficial for you in that sense. Closing here, and now talking about all the potential remedies for all the rising signs and everyone in general. Number 1, chant Hanuman Chalisa if possible before 6 a.m. If possible, if not at any moment you can't. Thank and be appreciative for the food you have every day at your table for your meals. Thank the Lord. There are several mantras. 2 are very popular from the Bhagavad Gita. I will share it with you quickly. Brahmarpanam Brahmar Havihir Brahmanau Brahmanahutam Brahmaivate Nagantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Aham Vasvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehama Sritaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyanam Chaturvidam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. You can chant these mantras every day before starting to eat, or even before starting to cook and after. This is highly beneficial for the spiritual process. To do some yogasanas that activate and pacify and balance your inner fire, or the fire element within you. And as well, it's very important to be mindful of the flavors that I mentioned at the beginning. If you would like to know more about flavors according to Ayurveda and the doshas according to Ayurveda, or some yogasanas, let me know in the comments below. I will highly appreciate any support that you provide to me and to the channel, of course, that it's just a baby on the YouTube world. Thank you so much if you made it so far. May you have a very beautiful, powerful, and amazing transit of Mars through Cancer. See you very, very soon. Namaste, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya.